Okay. If you guys have black faces, try to show your screen just because it's hard sometimes talking when you're a speaker and talking to like a black block can be a little bit overwhelming and intimidating. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guest speaker. Her name is Lindsey Gray. She is a two-time premier coach, and I had the honor of meeting Lindsey when Mike and I joined the Market Council, and I remember I'd always go to Super Saturdays or Super Weekends, and I would see her up there on stage, and she'd be owning the stage and just so gracious and so what you want to Madeline wants to say hi. See Lindsey from Market Council. Oliver, yes. Oliver. So sorry. And one thing that I was always really riveted by was Lindsey's story, and that is kind of what she's going to be sharing with us today. And then and another thing is Lindsey was my lighthouse throughout this whole situation that we were going through. I messaged her a lot saying, how are you keeping your team positive throughout this experience? What are you doing? And she gave me so much positivity, so much advice, that I just thank you so much, Lindsey, from the bottom of my heart for doing that, because I needed to hear it too. So your team has a great mentor, and they're so blessed to have you. So with further ado, my darling, the floor is yours.
Thank you. That was so nice. I was actually thinking of how excited I was to get on here. And I was also thinking about how we were talking about this whole thing and how heavy it felt for you and how heavy I remember you saying it feeling for some of the team, and it's heavy for a lot of people. So when I got on here and I heard you guys talking about it, I wrote some notes down about an hour ago, some things I wanted to say. And I'm really glad, because I did want to include ways that this, and I'm not saying this to brag, and everyone knows this, I'm saying this 100% from the depth of my heart, has barely affected me. And it's not because I don't love people. It's not because I don't feel bad for what's going on, but it's because this is where we are. This is our now. And if we're sitting here thinking about the future, and if we're thinking about the past, then we are not holding on to everything that we are supposed to get for our journey moving forward that is right here in front of us. And so it just really I'm glad that you guys were talking about that when I got on here, because it's something that we have to recognize and acknowledge and know the thoughts that are coming in, but we also have to really be able to take a deep breath, recognize that they're there, maybe feel a little bit about it, and take that deep breath out and release it, and have some way to reset yourself. So it is so funny because you guys, this was just perfect. If you guys follow me on social media, I am a Christian. I am a Jesus lover. I love God. I'm also a hippie. I love woo-woo. I love card pulls. I love meditation. I love spirit. I love everything that makes me feel free. I love everything that makes me feel belief. And I feel like when we as individuals and as parents and as coaches, especially coaches who are expected to pour into so many people, can tap into as many things that can fill us up as possible, it's the answer to keeping everything going. So I actually pulled 2 cards before I got on here. I pull cards every morning. And it's not like tarot cards. I mean, I do have some spirit guide cards and stuff like that just for fun. But for me, I always do pull Elise's I Am cards, even though I'm not doing bar anymore, because they're just powerful. And who doesn't need a reset of a really powerful quote or something in the middle of the day? You're scrolling, you see it. These I Am cards do the same thing. And then I really love what's her name? Gabrielle Bernstein. The book is, I'm reading it right now and it's downstairs. Super Attractor. Is that it?
Yeah, she's got a lot of books.
So she has these cards, and I didn't know if I loved them at first because it talks a lot about the universe. And I opened saying I love Jesus, I love God, so I love to give him the credit. But I find that I can interchange this, and that it all feels really good. So I pulled cards specifically feeling what I wanted to deliver to you guys and what you guys needed to hear today. And whether it's like by chance that I get these cards that maybe sound good, or whether they really are led and meant for you, it's whatever you believe in. I don't believe that there are accidents. I believe that everything happens for a reason, and that might sound cliche, but the situation that we're in right now and everything. And so you just have to have, and I'm going to go into my story here in a minute, but since we were here, I'm just going to start with this. You know, in this time, you guys just have to understand and have the realization that you can switch, and you know this, you can switch your mindset at any time. You can feel the anxiety, and you're going to. I deal with anxiety myself. If you watch my stories, you'll see me vape and CBD sometimes. Like I'm very open about it, and I deal with it too. But I've found such power in inhaling what I'm worried about, letting myself feel it, and exhaling it, and finding a way to brain hack and reset my energy, because my energy is affecting my kids, my family, the energy in my home, and everything that's going on in my business and the world around me. So your energy is super powerful. So today it was awesome. I pulled I am mindful. So I understand the impact my energy has on the world. Like, how perfect was that, right? So I am mindful. And then I pull one from each one every day. And this one says, the universe is always conspiring to support me, guide me, and lead me compassionately toward the highest good. So for me, I said that this hasn't really affected me that much. Now my husband's home all the time, so that'd be a lie. Like, that affects me, right? I'm like, don't you have some place to go? But he's been wonderful. I've only cooked once, and he's done like majority of the dishes and laundry, so I can't complain there. But the trick really is that before all of this happened, I really dove into what made me feel good and what helped me reset when I was feeling anxiety or feeling a lot about situations that I couldn't control. And for me, a card pull, for some people, a devotional, a prayer, for other people, a walk, just getting out in nature, for some people, breath work. Those are the things that are really helping us to switch our energy and remind ourselves, like, not to speak of like, well, when things get back to normal, because there's no normal. There's no normal. Like, what we were doing before, that wasn't normal. That was what we were doing then. This is what we're doing now. And in the future, it'll be what we're doing then. Like, there's no normal. It's just what it is. I just heard my husband downstairs telling my son he had to eat at the table because that's what normal people do. Normal people don't eat at the TV. And I'm like, I mean, depends on what you think is normal. Like, I eat at the TV sometimes, right? So it's just kind of like finding a way to not have yourself feel defined by what's going on around you, but powerful no matter where you're planted, and that you can prosper where you're planted. So with that being said, I can share a little bit about kind of what I'm doing a little bit after my story to really kind of move forward in this time. I will tell you, I'm not feeling bad about inviting people to anything or assuming to them that they don't have the money, because people need a distraction and they need something exciting and positive right now, because not everyone can tap into a community like we can. Not everybody uses the tools, has the tools, or are even open to the tools that we are. Because 7 years ago when I started coaching, I wasn't open to these tools. I was completely different than I am now. And other people need a solution still right now, and they'll find the money. They'll find what is important to them. So it's not about asking. I know a lot of people on my team are like, I just don't want to ask people to spend money. And I'm like, you're not. You're offering them a solution to something that they're telling you they need. And if they're not telling you they need it, then you're not having the right conversation before you invite them. At this time, especially, connecting, I think, is huge. I don't know if you guys heard the morning wake up call a couple weeks ago by Moira, or a few weeks ago, a couple months ago. I don't know when it was. It might've been, I don't know. It was this year. But she said, connection is huge for her. She connects more than anything. And I truly believe that in this time, that's what's making the difference. Connecting more, being yourself, being a light, figuring out your hacks to get your energy on, because you can absolutely feel, if you go to my stories, you can feel the energy coming through the stories. And I'm not saying that I think it's okay when we know our strengths, and I feel powerful when I speak, and I know that when I know that I can project my energy and my positivity well, because I work on that. So what I'm asking you at this time is, what can you do in this time where it is hard? And my mother-in-law had this, by the way. She was just in the hospital with COVID. So even with all this going around, like, even with that, we maintained positivity. And the way we did was by the mind hacks or the brain hacks, knowing how to stay positive, switching our mind, acknowledging all that, but also then being able to really energetically put ourselves out there, in a way that needs to be consistent. People need that and they love it. And it's fun. It's fun. I love getting up every morning and dancing in front of my phone like a weirdo. I
Me
love
too.
it. I love it. Like, I'm up this morning and yesterday at 5:45. I had 5 hours of sleep last night and 5 hours of sleep the night before, interrupted my 2-year-old time. And I still have this energy. And the reason is because of what I do in my day and how I energize myself in those little hacks. So you just have to figure out what works for you. But at the end of the day, you also just have to realize that in this time that does feel weird, there's so many beautiful blessings at the same time. And when you're inviting people, you are not inviting them to something that's icky. You're not inviting them to something that's fake. You're inviting them to something that's powerful, that's changing your life, and that will change theirs if your energy allows them to feel that it will. So you got to get that energy yourself. You got to figure out how to get that, and then you got to project it out there, and you just got to believe that it's going to make a difference.
Yes.
All right.
Project and believe. I love that.
Yes. All right. So let's dive in. So I started coaching 7 years ago, almost. May will be 7 years. And I was a hairstylist. I have been somebody who has always had a few jobs at a time. So I would say that I was a go-getter. I always, like, if somebody was like, you could be the first person to travel with this flat iron company to Vegas and do these trade shows, you're the first person in the US I'm hiring. I'm like, well, I don't even want to do that, but I'm in because I want to be the first person in the US to do that. So I was inspired by a Ruby mindset. I was a go-getter, but I also didn't believe in myself. I lacked self-confidence. I was struggling with an eating disorder, and I just didn't even know who I was. I was one person, like, I'm just looking at names right now that I see. I would be one person to Aaron. And then if Aaron and I thought something was funny, and then Laura heard, and then Aaron walked away and Laura was like, I didn't really think that was funny. I was kind of offended. I'd be like, oh, me too. That's how much I didn't know who I was. That's how stuck I was. So I actually found this business when I was 25 weeks pregnant. I was working as a hairstylist. I was an educator at an Aveda salon as well. And I did that for 14 years and I loved it. I was making as much money as I could. I was working all the hours that I could. And there I was living paycheck to paycheck. And I wasn't making horrible money. I also just had really bad money management skills as well. So I was 25 weeks pregnant and I needed to quit going to the gym. This is what started everything. Christina Sullins is my upline coach. She taught my turbo kick class at Lifetime Fitness. And I went to her and I said, do you teach somewhere and I can just give you like a $5 bill or something and like come to your class? Because her energy moved me. I didn't care about kickboxing, to be honest with you. Like, it was fun. And I don't even know if I really got results. It was her energy when she would start. It was her energy when we were in the middle of it. It was her energy at the end. It was how I felt in her presence. I was like, I don't know what this is. I just know I can't let go of that. So I wanted to stalk her and figure out, I was even like, can I come to your house? Like, I just need to do this with you. But I couldn't go to the gym anymore because we were living paycheck to paycheck. I was pregnant and we were worried about finances and I needed to quit going there. So she told me, obviously, that I didn't have any of those options, but that I could purchase a challenge pack. I could get this program at home and I could do it with her virtually. So I took a peek at it. It was Turbo Fire with Shakeology. I had tried Shakeology once before. I didn't really hate it. I didn't love it. Like, I didn't have anything with it, but I did know one thing. when she mentioned the Shakeology, the thing that I thought of was the fact that I had an eating disorder, and that for 25 weeks I hadn't had an eating disorder because I had a child, a baby growing inside of me, and I was strong enough then to not have it because of him. But I wasn't going to be strong enough when he wasn't in there anymore. And I knew that because I hadn't been strong enough for a long time. But she had this Shakeology and this nutrition support, and I thought, if I'm going to do this, then I need to take advantage of this. But she told me it was $180. And I said, oh, I don't have the money. I'm about to have a baby. I need to quit going here because I can't even take a maternity leave because I don't get paid when I take a maternity leave as a hairstylist, and we don't have a savings account. We live paycheck to paycheck. So I can be gone for 2 weeks, 3 weeks until I can walk again and not wear the diaper and like get to, I don't know. And so when she said $180, I was her money objection. I was her huge money objection. I was like, I just can't do it. Thank you so much. I wish I could, but I just can't do it. And she just said one thing to me. She said, what if you could earn your costs back and get a discount? And I was like, I can't do what you do. She's like, no, I'm not asking you to do what I'm saying, what if you could I could help you earn your costs back, super simple, and you could get a discount. And I'm like, okay, well, let me think about this. So she sent me a video, and here's the thing. She's really smart. She sent me a coaching opportunity video, and in the middle of it, it explained the discount opportunity. So I watched the community unroll. I watched the support. I watched her talk about how her life had changed. I heard her story. And in the middle of it, I heard about how the discount opportunity worked, and I'd pay the $15.95, but the Shakeology, I'd save about $18 and whatever. But then it went into a question right after that. And that question was, there is more that you can do with this. And if you do nothing different after hearing this information in the rest of this video, if you do nothing different, where will your life be like in 2 years? And where will your life be like in 5 years? And are you okay with that? And I was like, what the frick am I watching? Like, I'm like crying, I'm pregnant, and it's like hitting me. And my husband's like, I thought you were just watching something about a discount. And I'm like, I know, but I think I need to like talk to her about this. So I was brought in really because I needed just her energy, right? So what a great way to tie this together. I just needed her energy in a time that was hard for me. Right now, everyone needs it. I also needed a discount. She put a little breadcrumb and had me watch a business opportunity, not a discount video. She didn't explain to me what the discount program was. She had me watch a coaching opportunity where that was in there, and I got to see all of it. So I suddenly had $180. It was the craziest thing because I didn't have it 20 minutes ago. Suddenly I had it. I put it on a card and I said I'd pay it off. People have it when they're connected to why it's important to them, right? So suddenly I had the money, I jumped in, and I literally just made the decision to cover my costs and to do everything I could to make sure that I wasn't hurting my family. I was moving us forward, and I profited from week one. I was a Success Club starter. I was 25 weeks pregnant, doing turbo fire, telling people good job for eating lean cuisines. I knew nothing about nutrition. I knew nothing about fitness. Like, my fitness before that was punishing myself for eating too much and binging and purging. Sorry if that's a trigger for anybody. And then waking up the next day feeling horrible, punishing myself with running until I couldn't even imagine moving my legs anymore, and doing the whole thing over again. Because I was 25, I was single, I was living in the city, and we would go out for Mexican and have margaritas, and then the punishment would start all over again. So here I was 25 weeks pregnant, learning all of this. And all I knew was that she told me one thing when I did enroll. And I just kept telling myself this. She said to me, "You are no different than me, and I believe in you." And I was like, okay, I'm no different than you. And she has $1 million business. I'm no different than you, and you believe in me. And so I started leaning in. Now, there was no new coach training. She literally just put me in one of her coaches challenge groups on Facebook to shadow. I had no idea what was going on, and I didn't like it. So I just started my own. And all I did was lead with energy and excitement. I was excited about what I was doing. I was excited that I had a solution that maybe could let me have a maternity leave only 15 weeks away. I was excited that I was finally taking care of myself and that I wasn't going to resort back to that eating disorder 15 weeks from now. And I just talked about it and I put it out there, and my posts were horrible and my images were advertising, but it didn't matter because it was the energy and the excitement that people were leaning into. So I focused on posting, putting my energy out there, sharing my journey, even pregnant, getting bigger. And I would just work in pockets of time. I was a hairstylist, so I was doing 5 minutes in between clients, or I would hang out with everyone for lunch for 20 minutes. We didn't always get a lunch, but if I had 20 minutes till my next client, I'd spend 10 minutes talking to my friends, and then I'd go put myself in an empty room and work for 10 minutes. And that working consisted of connecting. I've never, ever been someone, and I don't know how your team is, and there's no right or wrong way, just me as a person. I've never been someone who's told anyone on my team they need to do a certain amount of invites a day or a week or a month. But I will tell you that you need to be connecting to a lot of people all the time. The invites will come naturally. There's days I don't invite for like 2 to 3 days, but the connections I'm having those, all of a sudden I'm about to launch something and I'm super excited and I get the perfect verbiage and I'm just like, I just want to invite everyone, and 60 invites go out, right? Like it's just organic and it's more through the connection. And because I've always connected that way, I've never felt weird just blasting that invite when I feel that energy and I know that it's the right time. So I just really focused on that. And whatever Christina kind of told me to do, I just did it. But all she really told me to do was focus on my own journey and share it and be excited. So that's what I did then. So when I had Owen, I was able to take 13 weeks off of work, paid. I had $4,000 in a savings. We had never had a savings before. And the whole time I was on my maternity leave, my weekly paycheck was anywhere between $300 to $500. And that was 15 weeks into the business. And it was not because I'm different than anyone. It was because I really knew what my strong point was: connecting with other people, being excited, letting them feel my energy. And then when I knew that my energy was in a place, like you guys know when your energy is in the place, that you're just like, heck yes. When it's there, I take full advantage. And I just do, I invite and I connect and I do everything that I can. Because people can really feel that. So I was able to take 13 weeks, and it was such a blessing. And I never ever wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I just have to tell you that. My mom had a daycare growing up, and at one point I didn't even want kids because the daycare was in our home and she was not licensed, and she had like 18 kids. And guess who her helper was? And I was like, I'm not even having kids. You're having grandkids for me. I'm like, no, I'm not. And I always wanted kids, right? After that, but I never wanted to be home with them. Like, I just didn't want that. So after I went back to work, it was the first time I didn't hit Success Club. I didn't hit it in November. I didn't hit it in December, and I didn't care because something started setting in, and that something was postpartum depression. I didn't care anymore. I lost the fire. I didn't even know what was going on because I was just trying to balance everything. I'm at work taking care of everybody, like caring about, if you're a therapist, if you're a hairstylist too, like you take on so many people's energy. And I'm not going to say I'm an empath. I don't really know where my feelings are on all of that type of stuff, but I can tell you that the minute my husband walks in the door, he does not have to look at me or say anything. I know exactly what mood he's in, and it affects me. And I'm that way when someone's in my chair. I'm very affected by energy. I can just tell, like, if my husband's in a bad mood and he needs a hug, he's not getting it from me. Like, I am that, not like normally you'd think you'd be like, oh, honey, come here, you're in a bad mood. I am so affected by negative energy that I'm like, I'm going to give you your space until you're like a little bit better. And then I'll be there. Now, if you really needed it, I would. But for the most part, like, that's how affected I am. So I was just in this place where it was really, really hard. And I lost my fire. And I said, I don't think this is for me anymore. Like, I thought I could do this, but I just can't. I don't even know who I am. I'm not inspiring. Like, fear, limiting beliefs, everything just pouring over me. So one thing happened that changed everything. And that was I went to a live event. I had not been to a live event yet. I earned my summit ticket. I didn't go. She wanted me to go to a couple Super Saturdays. I didn't go. Well, I had enrolled a coach, Amanda Huber, under me. She wanted to work the business and she wanted to go to coach camp that Christina held. So I said, okay, let's go, but I'm just going to support you. But what happened was when I went there, I saw the bigger picture, because live events do that. They change everything. It's social proof that you're not just on your phone or at home on your computer. It's energy from other people. It's energy from the company. You can feel everything. So I went there and I saw that I did want to lean in. And I just told Christina, I said, tell me what to do and I'll do it. How many of you have heard that before? Like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Right? You get to the point where you're there. And so she said, what do you want to do? And I said, I think I need to go part-time for my mental health. I need to go part-time. So she's like, okay, you need to hit diamond and you need to do it soon. And then I'm going to help you strategically place so that you can understand volume and how volume works and earn enough to be able to come home. How much do you need to earn to be able to come home part-time? I'm like, 50,000. She's like, okay, let's do it. I'm like, what? Okay. So I hit diamond a week later. I was emerald when she told me. I hit diamond a week later because I decided to. Nothing else. I decided to. I intentionally invited the people that were on my heart that I really thought they'd do good. I wasn't just pulling at straws trying to invite random people. I was intentionally figuring out how I was going to do this, right? So I hit diamond a week later, and just right now for all of you on this call, you have everyone in your network and in your life right now for you to hit the next goal that you're going for. You have them. So everybody's like, I know I tell my coaches this all the time. When you enroll, you have everything you need to go diamond already. It just takes the connection and the energy and the time and the correct intention to get there, right? And the decision. So I went diamond and at my half in March, and in June, I went part-time. I went part-time at the salon. And what happened is just so you guys kind of know a little of the logistics, I'm on Christina's strong leg. Christina has a massive organization. I learned the comp plan. That's all you got to do. I learned the comp plan and I saw that my right leg had thousands of like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 volume points at that time. And I wasn't doing much. My left leg, I needed a lot. So do you know what I did? I stockpiled my left leg. I recruited like crazy. I didn't care. And I'm sorry if this is against what people say on this team. I didn't care about rank. I don't care about 1-star. I didn't care about 2-star. I didn't care about elite. I didn't care about premier. It took me 5 years to hit premier. It took me 6.5 years to hit 6-star. It took me 6.5 years to hit 5-star because that's never been my goal. Not because that doesn't get you to where you're going, but because my goal, Christine said, what's your goal right now? I said, income. She said, we got to place volume. So as you know, in this business, to hit 5-star or whatever, it has to bounce back and forth. I placed rock stars on my left side. I stockpiled that left side. So volume, volume, volume. All of a sudden I'm cycling like crazy because my right side had so much volume already. I hit diamond. I do believe you build to rank for diamond, but then I built for volume. So I was making, when I hit 6 figures and I retired from my full-time job at 2.5 years in, I was a 1-star diamond coach. And it's not because I was any different. It's because I knew what my specific goal was and I placed that way and I didn't care. It killed me. I missed elite one year by like 2 points, but I had to make the decisions based on my income. So anyway, when did this change? Because I didn't want to be home, right? What happened is I realized after that 1 year and I was able to go part-time, I realized that me saying I didn't want to be home with my kids and be a stay-at-home mom was because I didn't believe I had the chance to. So I was protecting myself from wanting something that I could never have. My husband's an electrician. He makes great money. I was making good money. But I mean, we have a lot of fluffy things. We have a camp. I mean, we could sell things. We have land in Michigan. We have a camper on a lake over here. We have our home. We have 2 cars. You know, we live inside of in our means. Could we change that? Yes. But I never thought that I could have it. Therefore, I put this blanket over myself and told myself I didn't want that. But once I went part-time and I was able to not take my separation anxiety driven 2-year-old to daycare, and I would leave and I'd have snot and tears all over me and I'd cry on my way to work. because he had separation anxiety so bad, probably from my anxiety too, right? And I didn't have to take him to daycare as often. I realized I did want to be home, and I didn't want to take him to daycare at all, and that this was an option, and that I didn't need to be scared of it. And I started believing in myself. So at 1 year, I was able to go part-time. At 2 years, I reduced my hours again. And I then had my husband about a month later tell me at dinner one night, "Do you realize that you're working because you want to work?" I'm like, "I don't want to work." He's like, "Lindsey, you're working right now because you want to work, not because you have to work." I struggled with people pleasing for a long time. I didn't want to take time off because what about my clients? Like, they need their hair done. I don't want them to have to see anyone else. They're going to mess it up. Like, I know how to do their hair. And I just felt like I needed to be everything to everybody. And so there was this part of me that, even though I wanted to be home, like, I just kept saying, I just need to make a little more. I need this or I need that. And one day he said, "Next week, it's time for you to stay home." And I was like, no. I think like October. This was like in July, or was it July? August that he told me. I'm like, I think like 2 months, like, give me some time here. But after he put that in my head, I went to work the next day. It's funny how when suddenly someone else believes in you, like Christina believed in me, and then my husband believed in me, when someone else just expresses that tiny bit of belief in you, like we do to our customers and we do to our coaches, right? That tiny bit goes so far. Please don't ever stop doing that, even to your leaders. When he said that, I went to work the next day, and all of a sudden it didn't feel like home anymore. Those customers that I was so worried about, it didn't feel, someone else could do their hair. Maybe I am ready. So I said, I'm going to quit in one month. But when I get something in my head, I do it, and I quit like 3 days later. So I was able to come home at 2.5 years with a 6-figure earning business, and it has done nothing but bless us. I have never returned to the eating disorder, which is huge. I have another son. I've lost like 40 pounds both times after I understand health and nutrition. I don't think that I could ever express how, this is going to sound crazy, but you guys are the community that understands me. And I could get tears in my eyes right now for saying this, especially if if you ever were, or if you are where I was. I can't express how much I'm so grateful for myself and how much I love myself now. And I never, ever could say that before. And it's because I did what I didn't think I could do. And I allowed other people's belief to show me that I don't have a lot of strengths, but I know what my strengths are, and I use them. And I love myself for leaning into that and allowing our life to change because of that. So it is powerful. This business for me has never, my income has always grown. I've never had it in a year where it has gone down, which has been such a blessing, even when the whole volume thing happened a year or two ago or whatever, because I've always built on people. I've always built on needs. I've always built on connections, and I've built a strong foundation. I haven't built to just hit this next thing, which isn't wrong. Sometimes I have done that. I did that at the end of last year when I was super, like, all I needed was something for Premiere, and I was like, screw this, I'm just placing people here because that's what I need. And I did build for that, and guess what happened? It fell apart a month and a half later. It doesn't always do that, but sometimes it does, and that's the nature of the business, and it doesn't mean anything is bad, right? But for me, like, I've been blessed to produce a lot of lifers this way, So now I'm trying to think of if there was something else I was going to say. I felt like there was. I don't know. That's about
incredible.
But everything I want to tell you guys, that for 2.5 years, I built that business. I didn't work 4 hours a day. I didn't work 3 hours a day. I didn't work 10 hours a day. I worked in pockets of time in between clients while I was nursing my son, after my son went to sleep, for 30 minutes here, 20 minutes there, from my phone. I never opened a computer. I didn't own a computer. We didn't have money to get a computer until I bought the computer for myself when I retired from my job. It was all off my phone, just with intentionality. And that's what I tell my team. Like, so often, especially now when we start, we think that we there's all these bells and whistles. Like you can learn how to do this on Instagram, and you can learn how to do this. And then you can look at your insights and you can post at the most perfect time, and you can do this and you can do this. And those things are all great. But at the end of the day, you have the ability to crush every freaking goal that you have right now from your phone in 5 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 10 minutes there a day with your energy, your story, and your results that you're getting right now. And that's all you need. All the rest of it is amazing. But if you can just lean into the power that you really have in your hands with this business and the power that you really have inside of you and like let yourself shine, that's all you really need. So,
oh my gosh. Well, you're shining on us right now. And I'm like, I always say I'm mind blown, but really like I'm heart blown right now.
oh, that's a good one.
I am. Thank you.
You're
Like,
welcome.
I didn't know, like when you talked about your story on stage, I think it was like maybe it was the Autumn one when Autumn was there. Like that was just the cliff notes. I didn't know, like I'm hearing it really for the first time now in detail. I didn't know you had an eating disorder. I had no idea. And yeah, I knew that you built for volume and not for rank. I remember you telling me that. So yeah, I have like a whole page full of notes here.
Good.
I mean, this is crazy. I love when you said be powerful when you speak, and I'm like, girl, you're powerful when you speak.
I love speaking, and I always hated public speaking. Like I thought I hated it. It's so funny how much we put the veil like over our own eyes. It's really just a fear. And so it's so fun for me to figure out the things that I thought I didn't want, but it was really just my fear. And like, I really love, like every year at coach camp, I speak now. And if Christina doesn't ask me, I'm heartbroken, and she knows it. I'm like, you don't need me to do anything. She's like, okay, can you do the breakfast? Yes.
Well, I feel like you are so good at speaking, and thank goodness that you realize that you have this gift, because it's a disservice to others that you don't, that now you are sharing your story, and it is powerful.
Yeah, thanks. And like all of you have that same gift. Like if I could, it's really like every time before I speak, it's just tapping into your, for lack of a better word, I mean, it's tapping into your soul. It's feeling what you really feel, and it's saying it with the amount of feeling and emotion that you actually feel it, and letting that project out,
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much all I have. I mean, I don't know how long your team calls are. I just talked. I'm sorry.
No, this is great. Usually they're an hour. So real quick, I know first of all, I just introduced 2 new coaches, 4 coaches to our team today, and they're on the call tonight. So I just want to give an introduction to Sandy and Stephanie. If you guys can hear me, welcome to the team. They popped in like right when you started talking. So I hope that you enjoyed this, this community right here. I mean, everything's all about Zoom now. So do you ladies have any questions for Lindsey? Like anything about managing time? Like what activities did she do to get to Diamond? Because when you said you got to Diamond in a week, I have several coaches right now that are like pushing hard for that.
Mm-hmm.
And besides the fact that you said it was a choice and you just knew it and you had the network of people, you just had to go for it. Is there any secret sauce to what that was?
I feel like, so this is just me and my kind of what I feel. I feel like pushing is going to meet resistance. So I never have my team. It's just my verbiage. A lot of people push for things. I never say I'm pushing for this or whatever. When I use that term, for me, I feel resistance. I feel some stress. I feel blank. I go to sit down and I'm like, okay, I don't even know who I'm going to invite. Am I going to I just get kind of lost. But when I so what I am saying is like, I always, instead of saying I'm pushing for this or whatever, I'm always like, well, this is what I'm doing next. This is what I'm doing. And so I know that I want people on my team who are fun, who are energetic, who I would want to hang out with, who are go-getters. And so what I did was I made a list of the type of people I would want on my team. And then after I made that list, I looked at those adjectives and I thought, who in my life do I know and who do I see on social media and who do I work with that's fun? Who do I think's fun? Oh my gosh, Liz is so much fun. Okay, this. And I thought of people that I didn't think of before, because before I was just like, okay, it's time to invite to the business because I'm going for Diamond. And you know what I mean? Like for me personally, I would get stuck. But when I think of who do I want on my team, what do I want my culture to be like what, and then I could give those adjectives, like I could attach names to those, then it helped me intentionally reach out to the people that I needed. So for me, I realized I wasn't inviting a lot of close people to me because I was fearful that they were going to think I was just trying to sell to them or whatever. And I realized that if I opened up a Starbucks or any other type of business, who would be the first people there to support me? It'd be my family, it'd be my friends, and I'd give them a discount and everything would be fine. So I started asking people close to me that I would ask for the hearing what I had to what I was doing so that they could maybe connect others with me. And in doing that, my sister-in-law joined, one of my best friends joined, and then a couple acquaintances that I just like loved their energy. They joined for the discount because they just wanted it in the group. But I was like, oh, but you should get the discount because you're going to love Shakeology and we're going to be working together for a few months and I want you to save money. So they're like, okay. So then they joined for the discount. So it was really just manifesting that, like knowing this is what I'm going to do, knowing these are the people I'm looking for, and then putting those names to that. And as I would add people to my network and connect with more people, that list would grow. So I'd connect with them, but I'm still working on talking to these people. And then I would know that I'm going to be moving these people into that because I just met Erin and she is so much fun and I can tell already. So I'm going to connect with her more. And then next week we have a sneak peek and I'm inviting her in there and I'm telling her how much fun I think she is, how much fun this business is, and that we're going to crush it together and she needs to come listen, whatever it is. So it's really, for me, it was just emotion, everything I feel like I do, like I have to have the emotion tied to it and that visual. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It makes a ton of sense. And I love the energy that you have right now bringing to this team, because I think we just needed a fire lit under us. And this really, you brought it. You brought the flame, girl.
Yes. 5 hours of sleep and I was up 4 times.
Oh my gosh. You just couldn't. Oh, because you know what? When I watch your stories, is it because you have trouble falling asleep? Is that what it is?
Yes. Yeah. So I just am a night owl. I would love to just stay up and have wine and like just do what I want to do or whatever, because my kids also stay up to like 9:30. So like I just need time to wind down, but then I just can't go to bed. And then I work because I enjoy talking to people. So then I'm answering messages or I'm doing whatever. And then before you know it, it's like 12:40. And just because we are homeschooling now and my husband's home and we both are trying to get a workout in, he's sleeping in because he normally has to get up at like 4:30 for work. So I just flipped and I said, I'm going to be the one to get up really early so that we can all have time to fit everything in, plus downtime and my business and school and whatever. So I've been getting up at 5:45, but I've gone to bed at 12:45 2 nights in a row. Yesterday I was pretty good. Today, midday, I was pretty bad, but I took a 15-minute power nap and that helped. Surprisingly, I didn't think it was going to save me.
Those power naps make a huge difference.
They do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now is Rob not is he off because of what's going on, or is he just off season, or like because he's an electrician and I didn't know how his hours are?
So he has work because his company is ComEd and ComEd has work. They're open, they're essential, right? So Rob has work, but he just really feels strongly that there's no need for him to chance bringing anything home. Yeah. So he's like, so I'm off for 7 weeks, which normally he struggles with anxiety and like some like constant state of overwhelm thing as well. And he's handled this really good. Like, I think this has been a really big blessing for him instead of like something, it's just how you take it. It's probably also, at first he was like doomsday, like we need to buy guns and bullets because people are going to be, and I'm like, hold up, like, let's talk about this, you know? So I think I talked him off the ledge. I avoided him for a couple days though, because the energy was too much for me. And then we talked about it and he's been doing really good, but it's his choice. His company is working and they respect the choice. But he did just say at dinner tonight, after April, if it continues into May, he doesn't think he can stay home and he's going to go back to work, and we'll see.
Mm-hmm. But it's really a blessing that you can support him,
because he doesn't get paid if he's not
right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's why I just love how this business, there's just so much possibility. I mean, even with Mike being laid off right now.
Yeah.
And
like,
we were looking at
about it, and it's such a blessing. I can't even imagine if I was still a hairstylist and I didn't do this and he was we would both not be working, and I don't know where we'd be. We probably still wouldn't be. Yeah.
Okay, so I love how you talk about like making the relations with people, like those rankings come when you really try to make like connections with people and not so much like send all these invites out, because like we've talked before, like sending 5 invites is better than sending like 5 good ones is better than sending out like 10, 20 shitty ones that like are so like I feel like I wouldn't be where I am right now if Maggie didn't like encourage me and push me to my full potential with these things. But like I feel like I'm, as a leader, like struggling with trying to make my girls realize their full potential, but then not pressuring them. And I feel like I'm struggling with that. Like, am I doing them a disservice by not being like, girl, you need one more person to join you to hit this rank and blah blah blah. And like, it's clearly not about rank for them if it's taking those things, you know. But like, where's the balance between like doing your job and not doing a disservice of like not pushing them? Because I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have the encouragement to like it is so much about the relationships, and I like preach that, but like, where's, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a hard one. For me, our team, like, I'm very close with my team, but I'm okay with having like the tough conversations. But what I've learned is that I used to push and it didn't get me anywhere. Or I used to be like, this is what you need to do. Let's do it by this date. And it didn't get anybody anywhere. It got people overwhelmed. It got people lacking belief. It got people not having fun. So when I looked at that, I'm like, okay, we're lacking belief. We're not having fun. We're getting overwhelmed and exhausted because we're trying to hit something that is supposed to be so great for them. And then when and if they did hit it, or if they didn't, no matter which way, the momentum would go down. So I was like, what can we do to change that? So for me, I look at my office and I look and I see where people are at. And what I do is I'll strategically be like, for instance, I had a couple girls that lost their diamond. They both just needed to get their husbands back to Emerald, and then they needed another coach. So I said, put them in a thread together. And I was like, okay, this is going to be so fun. This is going to be fun because you guys are both going to get your diamonds back. And I am going to make this little, like, you guys, let's work together in this thread and like share conversations together. And then I did ring lights as a gift. Whoever got it first, by a certain time, they got the big ring light, the stand up. The other one got a desk ring light because I couldn't buy them both big ones, and they both wanted the big one. So we needed to have some competition, but they both needed to feel success. And then it was fun. And then they were working together and they were like, this is what's working and this is what isn't. And so I feel like so I went from 3-star to 7-star from March to, 6-star. I was 7-star. I would have been 7-star on Thursday. And on Wednesday night, a girl lost her diamond. I was like, bah, but whatever. So for me, like, that all came from being like, okay, where are people at? What do they need to do? as a leader, I know this needs to happen. How can I help them do this with connection with people so they don't feel alone? Like connecting them with someone who's maybe pushing in the same way. How can I make it exciting? How can I make some sort of fun competition? And how can I reward them for this? So like for my push to get people to push, I said push, for my little like challenge to get people to hit diamond for their summit goal, it was a diamond dinner. So anybody that hit it by this time got to join the diamond dinner. I put the girls that were super close and that were going for it in a thread together. They're working together. They're doing a sneak peek together. I'm helping them. And then like for the sneak peek, we did some giveaways, and I think we even drank wine on the sneak peek. Like I just tried to, anytime there's something, it needs to be fun, because this is what I was told. And this is what I think is true. A goal is not set to be hit, but 99% of people think it is. And when they don't hit their goal, it's going to derail them, and they're going to feel less than, and some are going to be more motivated, but most people are going to feel fearful of feeling that way again. So I tell my team, like, we're setting this goal, but I'm not setting this goal for you to hit it. I know you're going to do it, but I'm setting this to stretch you, because no matter what, you're going to hit it, even if it's not by this date, by the actions that we're doing, by the fun we're having, and by the community that people are going to see. So let's do this.
Right. And that's like, okay, so I'm qualifying for 1-star right now, and it's becoming like a lot. Like, and it's like, why do I want this to say I'm 1-star? Like, my team was thriving these last 2 months. We had so much fun. And then it's like, now I feel this from no one other than myself to hit this and hold this. And I feel like it is this energy that has just come down on my team right now, because we're all trying, and it's stressful as hell. And it's like this call. I was texting my girls during this. I'm like, I have like a new light. I feel like, and not like, I don't know. I just, why do I do this? I do this for fun. I do this for me, and it holds me accountable as hell. And it's fun. Like, these are my social outlets right now. Like I told my husband, I'm like, I'm not going on another call. Like, I'm a social butterfly and he's not. Like, I need these for myself.
Right.
And it's like, okay, like me and my diamond right now are trying really, really hard, but it's like, it you know, like you said, your one girl the diamond and the Wednesday night before, and it's like, you can do so much, and like I want it so bad for my team, but just like you said, if it's gonna happen, it's going to happen. And Sam and I were talking about that today. It will happen. There's no doubt in my freaking mind that I will hit 1-star for my team. Like, notice how I say truly for my team. I don't care. Like, cool, I get a suitcase like in a few weeks because I whatever, but it's like, I truly do this business for fun, and I want to just like, I don't know. I'm just very inspired right now to like remind me of my why. And my why has never been about ranks. Those are just cool. Like, that's awesome.
And you'll get there by doing it the right way. You'll get there.
Exactly. And like, it will happen. Just maybe not in the first 6 weeks. Like, because that I get, and Maggie knows this, if I'm pushed like too much, I'm like, nope. But when I'm just doing my thing, that's when I like thrive. I feel like this is a therapy session right now, and I apologize, but I just feel like I have just figured a lot out in this last hour of like what I want.
I love
for me and my team, so thank you.
You're welcome. When Bree lost that on that Wednesday night, and all she had to do was put an order under her husband's account. The next day she felt so bad, and she was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, all right. And of course I was a little bit like, mother, but I just said, girl, are you kidding me? You just made it 6 weeks and 6 days qualifying. Like we just made it that far. You're totally going to be able to do it, and you're going to crush it, and you're not going to worry about it next time. You have 3 kids at home. You just did amazing. And then we did another challenge. Now unfortunately, she's dealing with a lot of postpartum depression. So she's kind of just like managing right now. When that happens, I let them have their space, qualification is hard, but you have to have fun around it. You absolutely do. And then something else I was going to say is this, like you said, when you're doing your thing and you're having fun, that's when things happen. And it's really true. Bonnie Engel did a wake up call a long time ago. And it was about how she was really sick when she was 12, I think it was. They didn't know she was even in a cancer unit, and they thought she was going to die. She heard the doctor tell, have you guys heard this? Raise your hand if you have. She heard the doctor tell her mom, like, this isn't looking well and Bonnie's probably not going to make it. And she shared a room with this girl named Sarah, and Sarah had terminal cancer, and they knew she was going to die. And Sarah would leave every single day to go somewhere, and she would go and she would come back so happy, and she'd keep inviting Bonnie, and Bonnie's like, we're going to die and you want to go do something and have fun and you're coming here happy? Like, no. But she saw that every time she came home back from this place, she was happy. And over time it chipped away and she started getting curious and started asking her, well, where are you going that you're having so much fun? And what is this? And whatever. And one day she got up and she went with Sarah, and they just went to a playground. But they played and they laughed and there was fresh air, and she had so much fun that she came back. And because of that moment, she was able to tell the doctor that she recognized it was after she took the medicine they gave her that she felt the worst, and they realized the medicine they were giving her was poison, like she was having a reaction and it was killing her. They took her off and she was able to leave, and she's never had any issues since. And she said, so be like Sarah. Like, I didn't need to know what was at the playground, who was there, what she was playing or whatever. I just saw her happiness. I just saw she was having fun, and she just kept coming back more and more, and she just kept showing me that, and eventually it saved my life. So that's just kind of what reminded me, or just
Yeah,
reminded me of you.
absolutely. That's exactly how I feel. And it's interesting. It's like, and you said something about like something about goal setting, and I just loved it. It's like, I know I'll hit that, but like is pushing and pressuring and making people uncomfortable, and that's not me. That's not why I do this. And so I feel like, I told Maggie today, I'm like, I know the universe is on my side. It will happen. But I am the type of person that I'll never forget. Before I left for my honeymoon, I sat on the floor crying, telling Maggie, I don't think I can do this. This is too much for me. And like all these things. And because I'm just the type of person and when it's too much and it's overwhelming, and like right now it's just a really hard time, it's like, I don't want it for myself even then, because it's not fun. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thank you for that, because I feel like I needed that mindset to reel me back in and my why.
Yeah.
All this,
It's important to have things to strive for, like to want elite and to want premier and to want to rank advance and to want to hit income, and to set a date is important because it makes you have fun trying a little harder in this time. But we cannot be attached to the date, and we have to let it motivate us and know that no matter what, that segment of pushing, or whatever we want to call it, that time where we were doing that served its purpose. We gained momentum. I'm sure we gained more, what than we used to, and we have to have fun in it, and then just move the date and continue to try, like you said. And yeah, I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that. I'm so glad that I
feel like
help you
right now. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll hop on that call. It'll be so fun. Like, I'll just chill and sit there. Like, my team loves you. Like, all my girls, I messaged them. I was like, can you come on this call? They're like, I'm watching their they have like tons of children, like babies, and they all said how much they love you. And so they're going to watch the recording of it, of course. But yeah, I feel like this was really good. Just like Meg said, it's just really good. And what we all take out of this is different, like we're all in different spots. We all have different whys, but yeah, that was awesome.
Good. I'm so glad.
It was. I think we needed the refresher.
Yes.
And the reminder. Wait, I think that's means the same thing. Okay. Anybody else? Questions, you guys? This is the time.
Okay, so I am not one of those people who others are flocking to. And I am inviting, and it is a struggle. And I am losing my momentum because I know what we have is incredible. Anyhow, so who would you recommend? Because there's another program that I'm taking for personal development as well. And in that program, it suggests that you find a mentor. You find somebody who, Maggie, you're an incredible mentor. Absolutely nothing to do with you. Okay? No, please do not be insulted at all. I absolutely love you. Okay? But I'm at a loss. I look at Erin and what she's doing. I look at Kim and what she's doing. I look at everybody and see what they're doing, and I try to piece together, because I feel in my heart of hearts that what I'm doing is wrong. And I don't know, sorry. I don't know how to move past it.
Mm-hmm.
So who would you recommend? I mean, obviously I'll start friending you. I didn't know, I didn't know until tonight who you were.
Mm-hmm.
But who would you recommend? And it doesn't have to be Beachbody. It could be any type of mentor in an MLM business, but I need something. Who would you recommend?
Well, so I first have to say this only because I feel it, but then I will recommend like someone, but I'm going to recommend yourself, because I think you need to figure out, like, I don't know if you meditate or have like a journaling practice or something that you can really tap into, like, what do you love about this that you can energetically project out there. It doesn't have to be like Erin or any of them, but there's something about this that you love so much and you have so much passion about it because it's bringing you to tears, and you want to share that with people. And there are people that need it from you, and only you know what exactly those parts are, and maybe different ways to put it out there, through whether it's a way that you start video, or maybe it's like a blog that you start or whatever. But what are those places? I feel like you, I didn't expect to answer this question this way, but I feel like you are going to be your best teacher to start, your best mentor. Like for me, I think a 5-minute meditation, a 10-minute meditation, anything that helps you calm your mind. And then after, like thinking about how am I going to bring this out? Like, how am I going to reach people? How am I reaching my people? What is important to me? What is this gift that I specifically have that's different and setting me apart from the others? And then when you do these little meditations that are guided on YouTube or whatever, like just letting your pen go and journaling it all out. And it's amazing. Like I'll do that sometimes, and later that day I come read what I wrote, and I'm like, I wrote this? I don't even remember writing this. Like you're just in such a place of clarity that you almost answer your own questions. I would really try to like do something there. And then I don't know what other thing you're in, but somebody that I think of right away is Brad Bizjack. I'm in his, and he has amazing energy. Are you in his?
That's the program that I was referring to.
So I love Brad, and Brad has so much energy, and he knows what he's talking about. And so he's saying someone more like one-on-one to hire as a coach. I
just finished, I believe it was phase 2, module 2, lesson 6 or something, and how it's the massive call to action. And then the next one was, okay, find your mentor. And he listed Tony Robbins and a few others as ones that he really looked to model what he's created after.
Yeah.
So, and that was just my lesson today.
Yeah. I feel like one thing that you said really struck me, and it's that you're not somebody that people flock to. And I don't think that's true. I think that you just have to figure out who you're trying to get to flock to you and speak to them more, and really like be in that, in that space. So I'm not sure who I would say as a mentor outside of, which I agree. Like I have Christina, and then I do like Brad Bizjack. I've also worked with a guy who is a mindset coach. He does a lot of this type meditation thing, is kind of what I got from him. I can't even think of his name right now, but as far as like modeling after, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. I might need to think more on that and see and I could even ask Christina if she knows of some, because I know like she'll have some great recommendations. But for some reason I just, because Brad talked about meditation and stuff, right? Did he?
Yes, I do. I have my quiet time reading. I do my Bible. I'm Christian. And so I do my Bible reading and my prayer time every morning.
Yeah.
Generally, I would do it before my workout. But now that we're, anyhow, in this situation we're in, I'm able to sleep a little bit and then do my workout and then do my Bible time. But but I like those ideas about, I don't journal.
Yes, I think that's a big one.
I'm not.
Even after your prayer.
I don't journal.
Yes,
so
get that out, because you have all the answers and you have so much that you don't even know, and then you write it and you're like, I just wrote that, like, that's pretty awesome. But like so much comes out of you, and especially after you have your prayer and you ask God to just like thank him for the fact that in your journaling and over this next week you're going to uncover what you're supposed to really be doing with this, and it's going to be powerful, and you're so excited to to learn about it and whatever else. But I think that would be a great time to do it, is right after that.
One last question. You had mentioned meditation recordings on YouTube.
Yes.
Is that all I have to Google, is just meditation recordings on YouTube?
So what I'll do is, depending on what I feel like I need that day, so I'll figure out like how much time do I have, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes is pretty much all I'll do. But sometimes it's clarity. So I'll put 5-minute meditation on clarity, or clarity meditation. So clarity would be a really good one for you. Sometimes it's mindfulness. Sometimes it's, reducing anxiety. So I just kind of figure out what I need, and I just put the search in, and all sorts of different ones come up with different time frames. And
Laura, you can get, because we're a teacher, the Calm app and Headspace, they offer free. You get the entire app for free. And then because I have the attention span of a squirrel, I can only do like 5-minute meditations. And Simple Habit is just what Lindsey was describing. There's a little wheel and it's like, how are you feeling? What do you need it for? And it's only 5 minutes. And I do those in the morning. I haven't been really good at it, but they're there for you and they're free on Simple Habit. That's my favorite. And it was on Shark Tank. It was made for busy people that want to meditate, and they're like 5 minutes.
What was the name of it again?
Simple Habit.
Simple Habit. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you, Lindsey.
Yeah, you're welcome. I really think the big thing for you is going to be that journaling after. So much will open up for you. I'm so excited for you. I can't wait. I'm gonna be following up with you in a couple weeks, because I just know that you're gonna feel answers, you're gonna feel excited, and it's all gonna come out. But I will ask Christina too, because she's worked with mentors throughout. I'll ask her some just like that she has, and I'll get that to you. You're welcome. Awesome. This is good. My heart feels so happy.
I know, mine too. And I know we're like way past the hour. So I just want to say thank you. Seriously.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for just opening up our minds even more to not only see, it's not just the business, it's our lives, it's our well-being, it's our mental health. And that's why, and always goes back to the business, because that's why I love this business, because if it wasn't for this business, I wouldn't be here with you beautiful ladies, and my mind would be back in anxious world. So on that note,
do you mind really quick if we do a boomerang? I always put a boomerang.
Oh gosh, no.
No, we're here for the booms.
Oh yeah.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Yay! Okay, I'll send that to you, Maggie, too, so you can share it with your team.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys, so much.
Lindsey.
You're welcome.
I recorded this, so I will upload it tomorrow, ladies. Okay.
Thanks.
Mwah. Good
Bye,
night. Bye, buddy.